Bada boom, bada bang, bada Carbon Counties on the trail. We are going to Carbon County on the trail this morning. And if you want to go to Carbon County on the trail or on the roads, make sure to sign up for the Supwell app. So what is the Supwell app? My usual spiel is that the Supwell app is the best place to buy, sell, and trade gently used running shoes. It's the best place to connect with other hobby joggers. It's the best place to find deals and discounts and to get exclusive discount codes to places like Running Warehouse. However, I was talking to my sister, and what she said is, man, I'm on the Supwell app, and she's gotten some shoes on the Supwell app, by the way, size 11.5 men's. If you have any max cushion shoes, she might buy them. But she also said it is a place where I see people getting motivated, being motivated to stay accountable. Not just connecting with others, but truly feeling that sense of community, in that sense of, I'm going to go out there and improve myself today because I know other people are doing it. So if you're looking for that type of place, then you might want to join the Supwell app. It is $5 per month. Would you pay $5 per month for an accountability partner, for someone to help you stay on track? If you would, then you might like the Supwell app. It's the best place right now. Let me just say this. Let's get this shoe out of here. It's the best place right now. If you are a hobby jogger looking to put in the work and to get more from your running and to improve your life through running, it's the best place to be. All right. Don't skip your runs this week. Happy Thanksgiving. Let's get into today's video.
What is up, fellow hobby joggers? It is 7:47, Thanksgiving Eve, Thanksgiving Day Eve, and we're taking a family trip to ASC, which is the place I went last week when I reviewed the Zagama. And so I thought this would be a good time to take out this guy, the Tecton X, Hoka's plated racing shoe. Bang, for the trails. You guys know I love everything Hoka. I have the Rocket X2 back there, Skyward X behind me, Cielo X1, and this thing should be a banger. I haven't tried, well, I have tried, look, I do have this. This is the only trail plated shoe that I've tried so far. It was really aggressive. The stability was not that great, but I also only ran on it on a short run. Today, hopefully I'll get some real mileage in with the Tecton X. Let's take a look. Bada boom. Oof. Bada bang. Man, that is clean. That's a lean, mean, clean running machine. Let's brighten it up a touch right there. Man, so this thing has a gaiter at the top to hold the ankle in place. Vibram outsole. I think these are 5mm lugs right here. Yeah, 5mm lugs. And then you get the Piba in the race shoe for the trails and a tall stack of foam. This is a Max Cushion Gang plated shoe for the trails, so 40mm stack back here. The colorway is Ite, but honestly I don't mind that it's a darker for the trails. It's just cool to be able to try a carbon plated trail racing shoe. I'm excited for this one. All right, it's breakfast time. I'm gonna come back, do a weigh-in real quick, but Real Test is gonna be out there on the trails this morning. This is where I wish we had smell-o-vision. Smell-o-vision? Okay. Now that's what I'm talking about. All right, had to make sure we get the correct lighting on here. Pumpkin, no, not pumpkin. Apple cider waffles. What's this top dollop? Eggnog whipped cream. Is it really? Oh, I asked you and you said no. Fire. Oat eggnog whipped cream. Look at that. Man, this is beautiful. And it smells like apple cider donuts in here. That's crazy. And Reeves, you helped, right?
Yes. I helped because I helped.
You help because you like cooking. Yeah. All right, we got to do quick weigh-in this morning. How can I not annoy my family on Thanksgiving week while still being consistent? That's the goal. All right, here we go. 295 grams. Wow, I don't think I have any other trail shoes under 300 grams. That is very light. This upper actually looks pretty lightweight, and there is rubber, but it's not a super heavy rubber. That is, wow, that's lighter than the Skyward X and the Cielo. That is a light shoe. Let's throw on the Zagama. This is the trail shoe I used last week. This is representative of a normal trail daily trainer or trail training shoe. Put this guy on, 337 grams. So, wow, Hoka Rocket X, or Hoka, what is this called? Tecton X. So much lighter than the Zagama. And, dude, the Zagama says it's ZoomX, but it's not ZoomX. There's a tiny bit of ZoomX in the middle in this carrier thing. This is real. You can see on the outside, this is real PIBA from the outside to the inside. There's none of that carrier business. And they don't even stamp some fake name on here like ZoomX to make you think it's something it's not. Don't talk about it, just be about it. Shout out to Hoka putting in the work. Now, this is a shoe I haven't shown yet on the channel. Salomon S-Lab Genesis, but a very lightweight, nimble trail style shoe. Let's put this guy on. And man, the Cielo is even lighter than this. I keep calling it the Cielo. The Tecton is lighter than this. That is crazy. And if you look at these two side by side, I mean, look at the forefoot cushion in the Salomon versus the Cielo. You get so much more. So that's the beauty of a PIBA like we get in the Tecton X3 here. That's also the beauty of paying $275. That was an expensive shoe. Now let's throw the Adidas on. This is another trail racing shoe with 100% race foam and not a carbon plate, but some sort of rod setup in here similar to a plate. This guy comes out to $285. Okay, so it takes it for lightweight versus the Rocket. Man, I need to learn the name of these trail shoes versus the Tecton. But let's see, width check here. Yeah, the Hoka, a touch wider. Also in the midfoot, the Adidas is super narrow in the midfoot. Take a look at this. It's wild. That midfoot is really narrow. In the Adidas, you get a much wider base. In the Hoka, similar rubber coverage. The lugs are a bit more aggressive. I actually think they might be deeper in the Hoka here, so you get more rubber, wider base. Overall, should be better for navigating some technical terrain like what we have on the East Coast here. It's not just smooth fire roads, and the upper with this gator goes up higher. So all things considered, the Hoka only being 10 grams heavier, but a lot more protection, a lot more width, and a better upper. I'm leaning toward the Hoka right now, but we have to see how it runs. And then let's do a QA check here. Other side, 295.5. What was the first one? 296. 295.5 exactly. Wow. So solid QA all around. Lightweight shoe. This should be a trail banger. And by the way, I have loved every single Hoka shoe that I've tried this year. Skyflow, Cielo, Skyward X, Rocket X2. I just ran on the Rocket X2 this weekend. So I have high hopes for this thing. It looks great. It's got the full stack of race foam with the carbon fiber in here. Should be a banger. Should be a banger. So with that, I think I cut my way in pretty quick here. I don't think I'll be getting a divorce Thanksgiving 2024. We'll have to see how things evolve throughout the next few years. But I think my marriage is in a good place. Cousins. What's up, dude? Alright, come on, dude. It's a boat? It's not a boat. That's Auntie Imani and Auntie Jess's. It's not a boat. It's their storage, rooftop storage. Alright, man. Reevesy and I are chilling out here by the Jeep. Gonna do a fit and feel test of the Tecton X3. Like I said, every Hoka I've tried this year has been a banger. This is a little odd because it has this, I don't even know how to get my foot in this. It has this trail gator upper. You gotta, stretch. Okay, we stretch. And then we go, okay, that's not bad. So, by the way, I checked. I think I said 5mm lugs earlier. These are 4mm lugs. So I got this true to size 10.5. It feels like a 10.5. Good step in comfort. It's not super soft, but I can definitely feel that race foam squish.
Daddy?
Yeah, I'm going to take these on a run when we get to ASC.
Can you drive on my lap
Yeah.
when we drive?
Yeah.
No, unfortunately not. So squeeze.
The mommy's gonna come.
Yeah, mommy's gonna come.
If you can turn it mommy gonna come.
Everyone's coming. So quick walk test of the Tecton X3. Step-in comfort is solid. Of course, I can feel the harder Vibram rubber outsole on the concrete over here. And this is not going to be a concrete walking shoe. This is a trail running shoe, but squish down of that race foam is good. I can feel a little bit of that rocker up in front. It's not as aggressive as the road racing shoes. The upper is true to size. I have a tiny bit of room up here in the front, so hopefully as I'm mashing some downhills, my foot is not jamming up against the front. I will tie these a bit tighter before we go out there and run, but overall, really comfortable shoe. The look of it is okay. This is the only colorway they have right now. It's fine. They went with a more muted colorway for the trails, which I understand, but at the same time, it's a Hoka. So I wish this light blue here were the primary color. That would be really cool. Hoka pioneered bright colors, so I don't know. And I kind of just wish they went all out. Wish they went all out for this Trail Racer $300 shoe. But we got to drive to ASC at some point. My sister and all them are still eating waffles inside, so as soon as the waffle party is over, we can hit the road. You gonna drive us?
Yes. We're taking off in the tractor to see cows.
We're gonna take a ride in the tractor and see cows?
Yes.
Okay. What's up, dude? Young Mace pulling up in the crispy Merrills like she's about to race a 100-miler. Fire flames. Merrills with the buckle straps, bang. I just realized these are probably called Tecton because of the tectonic plates. And these have a carbon plate. Bro, that's a bar. That is a bar right there. Funkmaster Flex. Complete shenanigans. One more for the chaos. Alright, we're gonna test this out. New GoPro mount. Hey, by the way, look at that. More V-Force. Auntie Jess, where'd you get those more V-Force?
Yo, Anthony from Kansas with the hookup. Thank you.
On what?
Supwell
On what
app,
platform?
The Supwell app. And the best part is I wasn't even looking for shoes. Anthony was offloading and he said, hey, these sometimes fit funny. And I think the 11, 11.5, gang, 11, 11.5, it can be weird. Toe boxes, you're never really sure.
Bang, Supwell app. You said my Hokas are fire? Thanks, Mace. Hey, 860s. Let's go.
Running warehouse link though, for sure. Running warehouse.
for sure.
Get that running warehouse.
Full squad supporting.
Daddy,
You didn't drive? Hold on.
Should we doing something else, you know?
Like cooking?
No, I think just as
Yo, it's the return of the gifted gifter, the secret Santa grab bag zipper, the Grand sled hanging off the ledge, deadlifter, the best drifter, the tear jerker, the Santa's little helper, boy of the year.
Hi. The number 8-1. We also have guests coming.
Okay.
I almost did what?
You said you almost hit her.
I didn't hit her.
I said you almost hit her.
She in my bed, I get my soul. That's twice, cause they got food. We're gonna drag her, she went to school. Now she to the news. Black diamonds, I'm on the slopes. My baby need a new coat. Almost like the river. Auntie Ernie's when I walk through the door. Magic prayers preferably dead. Remember the block is hot. My pioneer shake the block. Oh, a little bit off the top. Please, cover no sell the shop. I excuse my aim. Yep, yep. Flow, yep. Trap, yep. Stop. Fold, what? Rock, yeah, yeah. Hey, yeah.
This one leg workout was like 30 minutes, and I'm still sore.
Bang. We're here, beautiful, and spring's close. Breezy spitting out pumpkin seeds. Beautiful spouse, beautiful day. Doesn't even have to rhyme, doesn't need to rhyme. Alright, she's setting me free. I'll see you guys in a little bit, okay?
Yeah.
I'm gonna do no gloves this morning. Alright, let's get it. Hoka Tecton X. Woo! Man. This thing is Piba. This is Piba. Holy cow. So I did this same exact course last week in the Zagama. That thing is not ZoomX. There's probably, people are saying it's a carrier foam. There must be 10% ZoomX core in the middle. This is Piba. This is bouncy, even on the road here. This feels like a road max cushion bounce shoe. The 4mm lugs are not bothering me at all. It's soft, great bounce, decent rocker, and like I was saying, very comfortable for walking. Early overreaction, Tecton X, trail banger. Holy cow. Hey, he's putting up stones. One thing that's gonna take some getting used to though is the gaiter. It really makes me feel like I'm running in a boot. Like I'm running in a hiking boot. And it's not heavyweight, it just makes me feel like that. Also, there is a lot of foam underfoot. We'll just see how this does once we get to the roots and rocks. All right, quick pit stop. All right, bombing our first downhill here in the Tecton. This thing is Bounce Master 5000. Holy cow. So comfortable. Classic Hoka fashion. This is a banger. So for the route today, I'm gonna aim to get 10 miles. I'll go around the lake here. That should give me 1 to 2. I'll pop down on this offshoot on the back, then go down to the other side to the dairy barn, and we should have some flat gravel to blast down. So good varied terrain. Once we get across this bridge here, this land bridge, we should have some roots, some really technical, gnarly stuff. Morning. But a few minutes in here, this is a very Hoka feeling shoe because the comfort is top notch and the bounce is top notch. This feels like a trail Cielo. Even more comfortable though, because the heel doesn't have that weirdness that the Cielo has to try to make it legal. Whew, going across a bridge here. Yeah, and then on any flat terrain like this bridge or the road, the lugs aren't bothering me at all. And they're the same lug depth as the Zagama. The Zagama just felt harsher and more aggressive. It also could be that today it's, whew, oh gosh. All right, now we have some roots. But yeah, today it's about 55 to 60. When I was running in the Zagama out here, it was about 35 to 45. So that's gonna feel firmer. But yeah, this is so fun. Such a fun, comfortable shoe. This is feeling like the race shoe right now. We'll see how it evolves though. More. Dude, this thing is a complete beast. This thing is like my Jeep Wrangler because I have the comfort trim, but it's still good off-road. I actually have street tires on my Jeep, but it can handle anything. So it's comfort with the outdoor aggression. This is it, baby. This thing is it. This is the real deal. Got some stairs. This thing is a beautiful Savage. All right, 1 mile in here, did the same exact first mile as the Zagama. I don't think I'm gonna do the same exact course because I basically got myself lost last time, but that was the same first mile. And in the Zagama, I hit a 9:13. In these, I hit a 7:54. Now, keep in mind, the last 2 days I've only had 16 miles on my legs versus when I came out here on the Zagamas, I was beaten down. I did a 27-mile day before. So my legs are fresher, but these do feel so much bouncier, so much livelier. Of course, we're in Carbon County and we have 100% of the real race foam. And these are twice the price of the discount Zagamas right now, but they feel twice as good for sure. This is a really fun shoe. This feels like my first run in the Cielo. I've never had this type of a experience on the trails. You guys remember that ASAP Ferg Future song? I'm on a new level. I'm on a new level. That's this shoe. This is next level. This is absolutely next level. It's not even close. This is like the original Vaporfly compared to racing flats. Every other trail shoe I've tried is like a racing flat compared to the Vaporfly that this is. Alright, gilet is coming off. It's warming up out here. Yeah, man, this is love at first bounce. This is like when I first saw Charlie in 2014, back at that assault prevention seminar in college. It's beautiful. I'm in love. Now we don't have as much mud out here as when I ran in the Zagamas, but so far, let me go through some mud. It feels a bit better. Maybe that's just placebo because I'm loving the ride and the bounce. But man, so far this is perfect. This is a perfect trail shoe. Second mile is 7:32. I am flying out here. I am flying. I was doing 9-minute miles in the Zagama. Now maybe my effort is a little more and I'm fresher, but I am flying in these things. All right. Yeah, this is one of those shoes that's just locking me into a rhythm. It's like a Saucony Endorphin Speed 3. That type of a shoe where you put it on, the bounce is awesome, the softness is there, and you just want to party. This is a Peba party underfoot, baby. So I'm now on this soft surface, mud, not mud, but dry, soft surface dirt. The combination of the soft foam on the soft, oh, and that was a little mud right there. And these are gripping and ripping. But yeah, the soft on soft with the plate is just incredible. It's an incredible feeling. All right, now this is a full loop back to where we started at the lake. I'm so much faster today. Now on some of this more technical sketch stuff, of course I have to watch my step more, but it's not any less stable than the Zagama. The plate probably helps with that. And in the heel, there's also a stabilization piece with the plate. Yeah, on these routes, it's just watch your step, do a little tap dance, bada boom, bada bang, and fly through it. It's nothing to it, baby. Mile 3, 7:59, slowing down on some uphills here, but grip and rip. This is it. With the Zagama and also with the Norda to a lesser extent, I feel like I have to put some mustard into the shoes to get them going. This feels good at every pace. It still has bounce at these more relaxed paces because it has that real Piva. Bro, we are standing on business in these things. These are the Hoka Business X3s now. The biggest obstacle out here is poop. There's cow poop, not cow poop, horse poop everywhere. It's manure mania. Doms. About to trick of Doms. Mile 4, 746. That was an absolute beast downhill. We are back at the lake. I'm gonna do that downhill a few more times, see if we can trigger Doms. So like my friends Santiago and Nathan said, we gotta blast some downhills. And I'm 10 days out from the race now. So really this is the last good workout. I'm gonna bang a few of these downhills, see if we can get those quads firing. All right, I'm gonna start right at this clearing every time. Bada boom, bada bang. Trying to run these hard and fast, but controlled still. First one was 1 minute and 22 seconds, 5:38 pace. I can feel Dom's getting angry. He's a little agitated. Dom's does not like that flag. He's gonna get real triggered. Do not bring that flag near Dom's. All right, number 2. All right, well, super inconveniently, the GoPro died in the middle of those reps. But I ended up doing 10 reps up and down, 10 miles in 3,300, 721 pace. That is crazy. Last time I was out here, I was at 9-minute pace. And granted, half of that, or a quarter of that, was just bombing downhills at a 5:30 pace. But that's a good session right there, man. 10 miles at a 7:20 pace out here on the trails. I still have some more juice in the legs, but that elevation gain was killer for sure. All right, it's time to go chill with the family. I'm gonna pick up a new shirt from here because this thing is completely soaked through. I'll do the breakdown later, but man, this is a complete banger. Not just the best trail shoe I've tried this year, but it's up there for, it's up there for top 5 shoes I've tried this year in terms of how good it is for its use case. But it's now family time. I wish the GoPro didn't die, but here's the thing. I charged my watch last night, and I forgot to put my watch back on before I went to bed, so I don't have my sleep data. Sleep data is one of the few data points I actually use from this. Yeah, I don't have my sleep data, and I didn't charge the GoPro because I charged the watch all night by accident. I was so tired I just got into bed. But I'm gonna go hang with the family, pick up another shirt. And look at this, man. It's a Jeep party out there. There's an orange Jeep, blue Jeep, and then there's a white Jeep in the back. And of course, we got the hobby jogger wagon putting in work, transporting the whole family safely. The hobby jogger wagon and the Hoka Tecton X3. These are brothers. And also, because we're going hiking here, I got a little hike test. These are so comfortable, man. This is one of the most comfortable shoes I've tried this year, trail or otherwise, especially given what it's for. Holy cow. Shout out to Hoka putting in work. See you guys later.
With your discount of 10% off, it just comes to $36.50.
I already told you, man, from demon time to dad time, putting in work, refilling water bottles, making sure everyone's hydrated. Let's go. Bang. She said these look like the Balenciaga Triple S.
I think so.
It's not wrong.
How's the view from up there?
Yeah, Reeves, how's the view?
Can you see a lot?
Hold what?
Daddy, go at my speed.
Okay, I'll let you guys go. Reevesy, don't do that, buddy. Ooh. Yeah, Jess, are you sprinting? Oh, there's a donkey down there. There's a donkey down there.
Quack, quack, there's a quack, everywhere, quack, quack, oh, the dog, Another song?
You look tired.
No, I don't. So
How you doing up there, buddy? Good? Alright, back at the Jeep again after the trail walk with the fam. Got some more good Reevesy time on the shoulders, and look at that. Bada boom, bada bang. Another hour and 20 in the Tecton X3. I will see you at home for the breakdown. Feels so weird holding this thing up. It's like holding up a Christmas stocking. with this, I should hang this up for Saint Nick to come give me some goodies. He can stuff it with a bunch of Morton featured socks and a little bit of bang sauce. That's what I want for Christmas. You know what I'm thankful for this year? I'll save that for tomorrow. It's not Thanksgiving yet. But man, I'm thankful for bangers. I'm thankful for bangers. This is so good. It's not even Thanksgiving anymore. It's Bangsgiving. Bangsgiving 2024. Coming tomorrow. Stay tuned on the Supwell app for Bangsgiving. Man, this thing is a complete tank. So this is actually my first Hoka trail shoe, which is funny because Hoka started off on the trail side. I don't know if a lot of people know that. Maybe you do if you're a running shoe nerd. If you're a shoe dog, then you know that one of the founders, a Frenchman, he's a Frenchman. He thought, what if I could create this experience of running down a hill fast and feeling like I was running on clouds? I forget what the inspiration was, if it were a gravel bike or there's some unlock he had where he had this experience outside of running, just completely bombing down a hill, and it was so protective. And he said, what if I could bring that into running? So that's where the giant stacks of foam came from, and they started off as a trail company. And here we go, a few decades, is it 1.5 decades later? When did they start? 2009, I think it's around that, I'm not exactly sure. And Hoka has the leading trail shoe. This thing is a complete beast. It's different than any trail shoe I've ever tried. It's cushioned, it's protective, it's bouncy, it's light. It feels, and as I'm holding it here, it's wide. I love a good wide base, and that makes this shoe just work. So it brings the spirit of everything Hoka alive in a fast package. That is what was so great. It's been a long day just rolling. So that was what's so great about the Cielo X1. It had a massive stack of foam. It delivered that cushioned experience that people love in shoes like Clifton and Bandai. And the Clifton and the Bandai are mostly used for walking, but it delivered that in a fast race day shoe. That was what was so great about the Cielo X1. That's what's so great about the Skyward X. That's what's so great about the Mach X2, even though that's more streamlined. That's what's so great about the Rocket X2, even though that's more streamlined. But all those shoes have that amazing rocker. Hoka has the best rocker in the game, and their foams are top tier, and they don't even call them anything right now. This is just an unnamed foam. So this shoe is completely dialed in out there on the trails. Let's throw up the splits this morning. So my camera died at about the 3rd hill rep. So what I did was a few miles of warm up, and then I wasn't even planning this workout. And by the way, I wasn't even planning this entire day. I didn't know what video I was gonna shoot today, but then Charlie said, should we go to the trails? Should we go to ASC? And I said, sure, why not? Would you mind if I did a cheeky little trail run, honey? And she said, no, that's a lovely idea. You should treat yourself. You should treat yourself to a trail run. Do a 1 hour max trail run. So we got an hour and 10 minutes. And then I got a bonus family hike. So all in together, I had this shoe on my foot from 8 a.m. to, what time is it now? It's 2:55. We got home probably 40 minutes ago. So I had this shoe on my foot for, 4 to 6 hours. 5 to 6 hours. Comfort, top tier, by the way. One of the most comfortable shoes. I would walk around in this shoe. I would do airport travel in this shoe. It's an all-around comfortable shoe. It has that Hoka DNA. But splits this morning, few mile warm-up. I was not planning this workout, but people keep telling me I need to do some downhill bombs to trigger DOMs. I was going to say trigger DOMs, that delayed onset muscle soreness. So I did 10 reps of 80 seconds hard down this hill. Why did I pick 80 seconds? Well, that was just about how long it took me to fly down that hill, and I was clipping them off 80, 81, 82, right around that. I think one of the reps I ran 75 seconds, so a minute 15, but I was really locked into that pace, which is good. That is a skill that you can learn from running more too. I always talk about the skill of running. We got to build these specific skills to get better as hobby joggers and runners, and one of those is pacing. So I was clipping them off very even pace, 80 seconds, trying to get those quads firing, running hard down the hills, about 5:30 pace. I probably could have gone 7 seconds faster. I probably could have run them all closer to 112, 113, so 72, 73 if I were really going for it, but I also wanted to run them controlled. Run them controlled because I'm not practiced at running hard down hills, and so of course there's an injury risk. And as I was talking about yesterday in the strength training video, one of the biggest injury risks is not mileage in and of itself. It's adding undue intensity before we're ready for it, or ramping up the base mileage before we're ready for it. So that's why I didn't do too crazy of a pace on those downhills, right about a 5:30 pace. But this shoe performed beautifully, amazingly cushioned, amazingly protective. It felt like a max cushion gang road shoe out there on the trails, but with some speed. So it had everything that I loved about the Cielo X1, the tall stack, and you have a 40 millimeter stack out here in the back, that wide base, a nice rocker, and I mean, just look at the bottom of this thing. Plus, the amazing grip. So I think I said this was 5 millimeter lugs at one point when I was doing the overview. These are 4 millimeter lugs, and weirdly, because the layout is very similar to the Nike Zagama, weirdly this felt better on the roads than the Zagama, a lot better on the roads. And I think that's just because, man, midsole don't lie. A good midsole does not lie. This midsole would be good in a road shoe, it would be good in a trail shoe, it would be good in a bowling shoe, it would be good in a ski boot, it would be good in a skateboard shoe. Shout out to Tony Hawk. What's the V's line? I'll be grinding till I'm old and gray like Tony Hawk. Something like that. That's just a bar. V's has a full song called Tony Hawk. We're just whipping in the Sklade, beeping at me. This thing is like an Escalade for the trails. Well, I said it was the Jeep Wrangler of trails, but this is like an Escalade V for the trails. It's fast, it's big, it's powerful, it has all the grunt. Man, and last week I ran the New Balance SC Trainer V3, and I was saying that feels gutless, it feels underpowered. I think this is even lighter than the SC Trainer V3, which is crazy, but this does not feel underpowered. So let's answer those 3 questions we typically answer when we are evaluating a running shoe. First, how does this do versus its intended purpose? So the intended purpose of this is to be a fast trail shoe that's also comfortable. Now Jim Walmsley, they call me him Walmsley when I'm out there on the trails. Him Walmsley. But Jim Walmsley used a version of the shoe for a 100-miler. I think a few other Hoka athletes have used this shoe for ultras. So this is designed to go the distance. And this morning I was out there for only an hour and 10, hour and 20 running. But I was also had it on my foot for 5 to 6 hours otherwise. So very comfortable shoe. As I mentioned, it feels just as comfortable as the Clifton. That's not cap. I was happy to have this on my foot. I actually brought the Ghost Max. I put the Ghost Max in the back of the trunk of the Jeep because I thought, hey, when I'm done with running in this, I'll put the Ghost Max on just to walk around because the trails that we walk on aren't super technical. But I decided to just leave this on because I enjoyed having it on my foot so much. So the way that this foam is tuned, very comfortable, but also fast. So yes, it accomplishes that intended purpose. It smashes it. It's fast, and it's comfortable, and it's stable, and that's what you want in a trail shoe. So they do have the typical, the old school Hoka hoof here. So you can see it splits off, and you have a minor caboose action hanging off the back here. So it does have that old school. Hoka actually got away from the hoof in their last generation of road shoes, but it still is here. That helps with the stability. I forget exactly what they call it, but that does help with the stability. The grip and traction is great. I was 100% confident bombing down those hills. I was 100% confident going over bridges. We didn't have anything too wet today, but I was also confident going through mud, going through the roots and the rocks. So a fast shoe on any terrain, and because of the lightweight, sub 300 grams in my men's 10.5 US. For some context, Cielo X1 is 270 grams. This is 295. The Zagama is 330, and then any Max Stack road shoe is going to be 330. So this is lighter than a Max Stack road shoe with all the protection, but you get that carbon plate and you get the bounce of the foam. So check mark on question number 1. How does it do versus its intended purpose? Very well, comfortable for being on my feet for a long time, and this thing could really rip. I was holding the 7:20, 7:30 pace out there on the trails. Meanwhile, on the Zagama, I was at a 9-minute pace. So question 2, how does this do versus its competitors? Now, core competitors for this would be the Adidas Agravic Speed Ultra, and then we also have the Speedland GS TAM. I don't even know how you say it. The Speedland shoe. By the way, I was trying to get my hands on that. I don't even know where you could buy it. You go on their website and they're not selling it. Did they update it, or are they going to sell it again? I don't know. There's that. There's the Saucony Endorphin Edge, which I guess people don't consider a real trail racing shoe anymore, but it has PIBA and it has a carbon fiber plate in there. And then there's one other shoe, Asics Meta Fuji Trail. That is a plated trail racing shoe, dual foam. Top layer is the FF Turbo or Turbo Plus race foam with the carbon plate. Then bottom layer is the classic FF Blast Plus, a little bit firmer for more stability. So this thing has the most race foam more race foam than the Meta Fuji Trail versus all those other guys. I haven't tried the Meta Fuji. I have tried the Agravic Speed Ultra. I remember that being very unstable and narrow, even on just the short run I did in it. I need to do more testing on that shoe, but this was so dialed in, and the upper was so good, especially compared to that Adidas shoe. That upper is extremely minimal, and I did have to fight a touch to get this on my foot, but man, this sock material is great. There is no rubbing out there in the front, and it feels stretchy up here. It feels stretchy up in the toe box, so that if my toes were jamming up in the front, I have some room. That's not something that I've experienced in other shoes, and look, it is the matrix material, which is common on these trail shoes. Norda uses the Dyneema material. Those Norda shoes, they heat up more, and that material is not as forgiving. This upper is way more forgiving, and it's $25 cheaper. Plus, you're going to Carbon County with the full PIBA midsole here. So versus the Norda, this takes it. Versus the Agravic Speed Ultra, I gotta get more miles than that, but this is way more stable. The bounce is good. This just feels like what I want in a trail racing shoe. The Agravic Speed Ultra, I'm not sure I would be confident racing in that unless it were a flat fire road style trail, which that's not what we have out here in the Carolinas. With this thing is a complete tank. I would be comfortable doing any sort of terrain in this, even the roads. I think I could run a few miles of marathon pace on the roads with this thing. This might be a banger winter road shoe. If you're looking for a winter workout shoe, this could be it, man, with the gaiters on top. Now, it is expensive at $275, so if you could get some sort of a discount or if you have a gift card to bring it down to $200, that would justify the purchase more if you're not doing a lot of trail races. But I think some people would like this as a really fun winter tempo style road shoe, especially if you need that little extra ounce of motivation and you want to spend some money for it. This could be fun. The third question here, how does this do versus everything else on the market? So that's where we got to bring in price into the question. $275, more expensive than most road racing shoes, more expensive than any of the trail racing shoes other than the Norda 001, and I think the Speedland is $300. So like I said, I'm not sure you can even buy that one anymore. I'm not sure what's going on there. So versus all the other trail shoes I've tried, this is miles better. When I tried the Agravic Speed Ultra, by the way, I thought it was okay, but it wasn't giving me the same bounce and energetic, fun experience that I get from the best road racing shoes. This gives it to me plus more. This is next level. This is one of the best shoes I've tried this year. Extremely bouncy, comfortable, and fun. And the way that they've tuned this foam is just really something else. So versus everything else on the market, I mean, if you're running a lot of trails and you have the money to spend on a trail shoe, this is the most fun trail shoe that I've tried. Again, I haven't tried the Speedland. I'm guessing that's the only one that's really going to be able to rival this. I've also heard that the Asics Metafuji, that's the other trail racing shoe I mentioned, is a little narrow in the midfoot and the heel, and the stability on this is great. So I feel so sure-footed, so planted out there, but I can still rip. It's like the Rocket X2 and the Cielo X1. It's almost like a middle of those two. You feel a touch more connected in here than the Cielo, and it's bulked up more than the Rocket X2. It's right in the middle of those two products, and those are both great on the roadside. So a more fun experience. If we're just going to compare running 30 minutes fast in this on the trails versus running 30 minutes fast in the roads on most road racing shoes, I would take this. I would take this over most road racing shoes for what the use case is. This is a very fun experience, and if you're the type of person who is seeking out a new experience, and the footwear that you buy, this is going to deliver that. I have not had that much fun of an experience in a shoe in a long time. This is what I was hoping for from the Zagama, and I know those high hopes, and it was only $130 that I paid for that shoe, but when you're stamping ZoomX, that should mean something. And the Zagama did not give the same ZoomX feel that you get from a good Vaporfly, like the Vaporfly 2, or from the Alphafly with the AirPods. Meanwhile, this is like the first 20-mile long run I did in the Alphafly. This is like my first time running in a plated shoe, which was the Saucony Endorphin Speed 3. This is like my first time running in a race shoe, which is the Saucony Endorphin Pro 3. It's a game changer. It's a banger. It's a game changer, and it is worth every single dollar if you are going to be putting in some miles on the trail. This is a very fun shoe. I also predict that the durability will be pretty solid because you get the huge Vibram outsole. And this race foam, what tends to happen with the PIBA race foam is it will lose its bounce before it loses its protection. So Saucony Endorphin Pro 3, for example, the PIBA in that went for a long time after the bounce is gone. Same thing with the Vaporflies. People will train in Vaporflies to 500, 600 miles because that protectiveness and that soft feel is still there even after the bounce is gone. So if you're hitting a lot of trails, this is a complete banger. It was also very comfortable for hiking. Probably a bit overkill if you're just going to hike in something to buy a $275 plated shoe. But man, if you want to go to Carbon County on the trails, it's a banger. I should have mentioned Nike Ultrafly. That's another competitor to this, but I've heard that's disappointing. I'll have to try it, but I don't know if anything can beat this. This is in the top tier. This is a top tier shoe. Great at what it does. Great versus the competitors, and one of the most fun ride experiences on the market in 2024. So after one run, this thing is Supwell certified. This is top of my list for my Ultra now. What I might do is just have this and then have a backup, probably the Norda, because I've raced in that so many times on the trails. I have probably over 60 miles of trail racing in that, and it's just solid and reliable. So maybe I'll have that on ice because it's a 2-loop course. So have this, then have that as a backup. That's probably gonna be my plan right now. Man, this is so good. I'm just smiling looking at it. It is really so good. It's so good. Hoka has another hit. And man, Hoka has not missed this year. Actually, they have one time. The Rincon 4, that's not a good shoe, but everything else. Mach 6, Skyflow, Mach X2, Skyward X, Cielo X1, and this, that is 6 bangers. 6 bangers. So they were 6 out of 7 this year. I don't know what else. Oh, Speed Goat released this year, and then did the Mafate Speed 4 release this year or last year? I don't keep up with the trail as much, but yeah, 6 out of 7. Let me know if I should try the Mafate Speed 4, by the way, because I've heard good things about that shoe, but let me know how that ride compares to the other shoes I've tried, like the Norda and the Nike, because I am looking for, if I could have this much, it's not going to be this much fun, but the cushion and the bounce in a more training-oriented package, that would be fun. So let me know, should I get the Mafate Speed 4? Is that shoe worth it? All right. I think that's all I have on the Hoka. I almost said Hoka Cielo X1. What is this thing called? Hoka Tecton X3. I also love the name. Shout out to Tectonic Plates putting in work. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving. Make sure to get your miles in. Do not skip your runs this week. It's so easy to skip runs on Thanksgiving. I'm going to say in every video, it's so easy to skip runs on the holiday week. Don't skip runs on the holiday week. Make them short if you need to, or even just do a walk with the family, but get outside. Don't lay up on the couch all day doing nothing. If you want to hear somebody else tell you it's okay to take it easy and chill and not be consistent, then it's not the channel for you. You got to be consistent if you want to get to where you need to be. All right, I'll be back tomorrow with another video of your best Bangsgiving 2024. One more thing, this colorway, it's good, but it's not great. And everyone said they liked it. My sister, even Mace, Charlie said it was fire. It just needs a little extra zest. The base of gray is not my favorite. But it looks like I've owned it forever. It just works, especially with this gray shirt I'm wearing. It definitely just works. So I also should have mentioned the upper. Upper was completely dialed in. Fit is amazing. This shoe is just amazing. This is my new favorite shoe, I think. This is like a Skyward X for the trail. How would you not want a Skyward X for the trails? This thing is so good. I'm only trail running in this thing now. I'm not even gonna hit the roads anymore. I'm just gonna start putting up 100 miles a week every week in the Tecton X3. I just buy another pair right now in Running Warehouse. This thing changed my life. No wonder Jim Walmsley's running 100 miles. And I might run 100 miles a day in this. It's so good. It's so good. Oh my gosh, it's so good.